Good morning, everybody.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, Ali. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much. Now, we've just hopefully going live. So hopefully people will be able to see us at home, whether it's on Facebook Live or on LinkedIn Live. As you can see, we are live streaming from our homes at the moment with the current working from home situation, which is pretty much affecting everybody around the world at the moment. So first of all, apologies if you have any background sounds. We have animals, kids, husbands, wives, people doing their thing around the house. So we're going to have some distractions going on in the background, but we're super excited to be able to do our first live stream with AdRoll to try and bring together some of the community, some of the conversations and the challenges that are affecting people at the moment with working from home, from having to be in isolation and physically distanced from people, but also just to kind of like get together to share experience, to share knowledge, and to learn. So thank you so much for everybody who's going to be watching and getting in touch. Of course, you can comment, you can leave questions for us whilst we're live and for after live as well. We love to hear any of your thoughts and any of your comments. So if you're watching on either Facebook or LinkedIn, you can type into the comments. That'll come into us here so that we can get into your questions and your comments. So please, please, please do engage with us throughout. But first of all, I'm just going to do an intro before I get into introducing our guest here today. We thought we'd cover the topic, first of all, about how to take your event virtual. So as more physical events are getting cancelled, it's likely that we're going to see more and more digital events that are taking their place. We have a slide here just with a quote. So the direct economic loss from events will go beyond potentially $500 million with the current situation. So that's from Predict HQ. So we're looking at, we've had Google, Facebook and their F8 event, Adobe Summit, Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference has gone digital as well for this year. They have 23 million registered developers in more than 155 countries and regions that are signed up to take part in that digital event. So I think for Apple, obviously, it's a huge success in terms of engagement. But is it possible for regular companies, for companies that are not just big tech companies like Apple and Google to go digital? And what are some of the best practices to ensure that your event is going to be a success and that it's going to be fun and engaging for those who are taking part? So we thought we'd do a discussion about this particular topic. So we are live, of course, as I've mentioned, and we got here on our stream with us Ali Klein, who is the head of customer advocacy in marketing at AdRoll. So thank you so much, Ali, for joining us today.
Yeah, of course. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So let's get into some of the talking points and some of the questions and things like that. So I just mentioned and referenced some pretty big tech companies there. So like Apple, Google, Facebook. Obviously, these companies have the capacity, they have the money, the teams, the technology to host and do these massive scale digital virtual events. So first of all, is it possible for virtual events and for smaller companies to be able to embrace this kind of like digital online event?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me just say that in addition to the companies that you've mentioned, tons of other events from Coachella to South by Southwest have all been either postponed or taking a virtual approach. So I mean, anyone from the super big guys to the smaller companies can definitely take advantage of going virtual. From our research, we're seeing that virtual is likely going to stick around for a while, even though it's something that we're all doing because we're stuck at home in our home offices. And again, apologies if you hear my 9-month-old baby or my 2 Australian shepherds. But for the future, we're going to have to inject a virtual strategy in the things that we're doing as a marketing team. So testing it out in this period of time gives smaller companies the opportunity to see what works and what doesn't, and then inject the things that do into their strategy. So here at AdRoll, we're doing a lot of that, and we're excited at the brainstorming and the ideas that we've already come up with how to engage our customers and our prospects in these types of events.
Yeah, so we actually, pretty quickly have been faced with having to kind of figure out some different dynamics for events that we have coming up. So we have our CAB event, which is the Customer Advisory Board event that we hold annually, where we invite customers to come and get together and discuss all kinds of issues, and also just like kind of get a bit of a input from our customers about our products and things like that. So we've had to swap up that event, haven't we?
Yes. So the Customer Advisory Board is a cornerstone event for the advocacy team. And so, when you have a big change like this and you start to consider your customer safety as well as your own team safety, you have to weigh what's the best thing to do. And although we've had a massive amount of people for our Customer Advisory Board say that they want to join us in San Francisco for 2 days, we had to go back and say what's best for everyone in this circumstance. And this was before in California we were forced to quarantine. It was an activity that we wanted to do way before that. So we made that decision, and we made the decision right away to take it virtual. And luckily, we have a wonderful customer marketing manager, Veronica, who's been on top of it, making sure that the process for our customers has been seamless.
What's the reaction been then for those who are meant to be physically here? Like, have we still got the same type of like commitment and retention for people who are going to be attending the event, or did we lose people?
Yeah, so I'm really pleased with the reaction to the event and the number of registrants. So just so everyone out there knows, best practice for a customer advisory board is somewhere around 10 to 12, 15 people at max. Admiral's never kind of rolled that way. We like a bigger board as much as we can because some of the time, this is our best opportunity to get with our customers. They're busy marketers from D2C brands. They are very, very time constrained, and they don't always have the opportunity to get with us. So CAB is a cornerstone opportunity for them to come out to visit us, whether it's in our New York office or our San Francisco headquarters, and spend time with both our executive team and our product team. And so we usually see a customer advisory board around 20 people. That said, Veronica had already been seeing an amazing response of customers wanting to attend our event this year, which was going to be a 2-day event, the first of which would be a day where in the evening, our customers would attend an evening event for our community called the Growth Gorilla Collective, the GGC as we call it, which has both an online component in the Slack group as well as an offline component in these city meetups that we do. So all of our members were going to be invited to join us for that meetup the night before the CAB event. And then the following day from around 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., they were going to have an all-day CAB session. Mm-hmm. And we had seen around the high 20s, early 30s, and people who are registering for this, and we're very excited. So, as you can assume, when we were transferring this event from a physical event to a virtual event, we were stressed that folks were not going to be as excited about this. I think we were wrong there, actually. Folks are used to being online. They are online for webinars. They are already on their computers all the time. They are connected, listening to podcasts. So for us to transfer something to a virtual event actually isn't a huge jump for our customers. And we're seeing that the response is actually super positive. Folks understand why we're doing it, and they feel that they can now almost attend and send more people to the CAB than they could before. So regardless of location, or if you've got your kids at home or your dogs at home or your cats at home with you, you can still attend this event. So the response has been great, and we are still ticking along with our registrations. So we're very happy about that.
And of course, the event originally was going to be 2 days, and with putting it to a virtual event, it's actually been condensed down to about 2.5 hours, right?
Yes. So that's actually one of my biggest learnings is you obviously can't hold a 9-hour event online. I mean, you can, but I'm not sure what the engagement would be like unless you're doing it as like a virtual conference. for us, this is a very engaging experience. It's a two-way conversation. One of our biggest goals of Customer Advisory Board is to give the opportunity for our customers to be heard and then network with one another. They constantly say our breakout sessions and our networking sessions are the biggest benefit in attending Customer Advisory Board. So we don't want to lose that in the virtual format. So Veronica has done a great job looking at platforms that allow us to have this two-way communication instead of a one-to-many type of communication. So we have streamlined the day, 2.5 hours, nice and short, about a long meeting that you would attend on a normal day of work. And we are finding ways to not only make this super engaging, but also super fun for our customers who are at home attending this event.
We're definitely going to get to some of the kind of tips you have for making things fun and engaging. But you mentioned there, of course, just about the actual platform. So that's probably something definitely worth mentioning, like what platforms are available. I mean, obviously, in most people's day-to-day communication with work, they might use Hangouts, they might use Zoom, they use these conferencing calls. But through kind of the research and setting this up, what types of platforms have you come across that seem to be good options?
Yeah, so one of our biggest concerns moving from a physical to a virtual event was, how are we going to virtually meet in a way that is going to be as open as we currently do the event in real life? So we looked at a bunch of platforms, and I think no matter what type of event that you're currently moving to a virtual format, there are tons of opportunities for you. So we're currently using Zoom. We already use Zoom internally at AdRoll, and so it's a nice extension to be able to use it for our program. But if you're looking to do an engaging conference, there were some vendors that are hitting the game now that I think are really interesting. So one that we looked at was Hopin.to, and they are wonderful, super interactive, can host really big events to really small events. And what we loved about them was kind of that engagement part of their platform. They have a coffee roulette style, kind of pairs you up on demand. They also have great breakout rooms. They have a wonderful session flow where you can enter in and chat with people and then see the live streams from the stage, but also pop into different breakout groups as much as you want. So we loved that part of that platform. I also hear that Remo.co is great for online meetings. These are kind of the newcomers in the game that I think are really allowing us to not do things as business as usual. So we're able to find more engaging ways to meet with our customers. You can also do LinkedIn Lives, Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives, the way that we're doing things today. But there are also things like Google Hangouts, Slack Hangouts, and even TikTok, if you have enough followers, where you can go live and talk to people transparently, because transparency is a huge key to making sure that people want to attend your virtual event. If you're not transparent and if you're not communicating often and early, folks aren't really sure what your plan is moving forward, and they might not want to attend your event. So we found that relying on these channels is really good for us. And so just the other day, actually, in our GGC Slack channel, we held a Google Hangout to talk about the current climate and how our customers, our digital marketers, are finding ways to address the current challenges. And it was great. People left that meeting feeling super energized. And the format was fantastic, super open. Google Hangouts, everybody knows what those are like. And people could have their video on, people could mute and unmute themselves. And people ended up using that as a brainstorming opportunity to come up with new campaigns with our community manager, Steph, who is just amazing. So it's a really great opportunity to get folks together in a way that removes some of those barriers where they're kind of nervous to talk, which sometimes happens with an in-person event.
Yeah, definitely. I had the opportunity to sit in on that discussion, and it was great to feel kind of, obviously, despite the distance, there's still been that feeling of community, because you're able to obviously discuss whether it's like concerns and challenges, but also wins and just ideas. Like the collaboration of just the ideas of what you potentially, you know, what each company could do. Sometimes having that outside view of maybe what might be a great idea for content, what might be a great idea for messaging. Sometimes like you get so clouded by your own, you know, thoughts, your own outlook within the company, the same voices, and understanding. And sometimes those outside voices just really break out some new ideas and some fresh outlook. So that importance of community is just is awesome.
It's been such a benefit to us. I mean, we feel that we can be the connector for these brands to meet and to be able to amplify their voices through the community, and having things like those Google Hangout meetings, or perhaps this Friday we're doing something for the first time in the community, which is a virtual happy hour, which is going to be really fun with our community members. So like doing things like that not only helps build relationship and connection to the community, but also makes people feel like they're not alone in this situation. There's a lot of doom and gloom that we've been hearing, whether it's on the news every day or in articles, and everyone is stressed about the new way of work. And I would say there's actually far more opportunities for us when we take a glass half full approach to this, and the community helps to instill that. We're all in this together.
We're definitely going to share more information about the GGC community and meetups and the Slack channel they've got a little bit later on. But just going back to the CAB event, the Customer Advisory Board event that we've taken virtual, taking it down to 2 hours and streamlining it. And we've got that roulette style meet and greet, and we've got chat and all sorts of things going on. But how about, in terms of actually making it fun, engaging, because that's super important. No one wants to really sit and just kind of like either be looking at a PowerPoint presentation or looking at one static person speaking. Like, how do you still create the vibe of a live event despite it being virtual?
Totally. So I don't want to give away too much because the team would not be pleased with me. But we are giving to our customers a gift. A physical gift that will arrive on their door that will have some treats inside of it. I don't want to give away too much, but things that they can use during the event. So we definitely want to make sure that everything they would be getting at the physical event, they will be getting previous to the virtual event. And not only will there be a nice gift in there, but there will also be some supplemental information that they can use for the day. So we want to make sure that we've checked that box, that we definitely have some engagement there. Additionally, we are working on having polls and surveys that are real time throughout the whole day. So all 2.5 hours of that event, we are going to have some interactivity with our customers there. We want to make sure that we are bubbling up their thoughts and their feedback right away, and surveys and polls are a great way to do that. We also do a pre-event survey and a post-event survey, and our pre-event survey has some fun things like, what's your favorite ice cream flavor, and rank your favorite popular song right now. And those are fun things because we do a know before you go packet to our customers. And so we're making that virtual this year. And so they're going to learn about their fellow CAB members. So they might find that I like chocolate mint ice cream, and that my favorite song right now is Billie Eilish. I don't know.
Two great choices.
So there's a lot of good stuff in there that can help spur a conversation. And then finally, we're going to definitely be using the chat function quite a bit. We love our emojis at Adderall, and so we'll be doing some fun things with that. And incorporating, I guess, the icebreakers. I think those are important. As an Adderall marketing team, we do check-ins and check-outs every day, mainly to instill some fun in the day just for our own marketing team. And so we're going to be doing that for our customer advisory board as well, opening up to an icebreaker activity. And then at the end of the day, perhaps doing some type of checkout to just get people really excited about what the future holds.
Awesome. And I also like there's things like meal deliveries happening and stuff, so that people have they still have the designated break in the day, which is also sometimes really important when you're working from home in this situation. And you can just be working from, the moment you wake up until beyond when you would normally be leaving an office or leaving an event or whatever. So it's just important to take those times, to take those breaks, and to kind of have that feeling of still being something a bit different from your regular day. You're still part of an event.
Yeah, that's a great point. For our members that are not in San Francisco or not on, the West Coast, they're going to be starting the customer advisory board at their lunchtime. So we will be sending all of our customers lunches, whether that's from Grubhub or DoorDash or whatever is the best tool for them, so that they can get lunch. For the folks that it will be the morning for them, we're going to have coffee and we're going to just take a moment just to level set the day and start things off on the right foot. But yeah, I think it's great to be able to send folks lunch and make sure that they're able to kind of have some fun and not be too focused on the work during these 2.5 hours. Yes, we'll be talking about business topics, but it should be an experience that feels almost like they're stepping outside of their normal work day, which is the ultimate goal.
I do want to just take the opportunity again. Of course, we are live at the moment. We can see we've got people viewing and liking and loving us. So thank you so much for watching our live stream today. This is actually the first of our live streams. So Ali, not a guinea pig. I don't want to say you're a guinea pig in this situation, but this platform in itself is somewhat new for us because, like all these other companies, we're kind of playing around and experimenting with new ways in which we can reach out, connect, build community, have conversations, hold events. And so we're super excited to be able to do this and bring some live chats to you. They're going to be ongoing. We're going to have one every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and that is Pacific time. That's here. We're in San Francisco. And we will be, obviously, these will be available to view on our Facebook and LinkedIn profiles after we've gone live. So do engage with us. Do give us your questions. Give us any of your experiences. Have you found that you've had to, change your events, cancel events? Have you seen a huge impact on your business or your company? Let us know your thoughts about that. And also, of course, if you're not watching this live, that's totally fine. We still love to have your questions and comments. And also, if there's any topics that you want us to bring up in the future, you want us to cover, and I'll give you a bit of a preview before we finish today for what's coming up, what types of topics we're going to be covering. But I feel like maybe for a final question for today for you, Ali, is in terms of measurement as well. So, I mean, how do you feel there's going to be a way of measuring success of events when people are holding them virtually? I guess it's a bit different from literally having people walk in through the door and having butts on seats, but how do you
I actually feel like measuring these types of events is going to be easier. Engagement is going to be easier. You're going to be able to download reports on what the chat looks like, who voted on what their thoughts were. You can actually see registration to attended very easily. The cost of the event is very clear cut. And a lot of the time, these events are a lot cheaper than our in-person events. So cost effectiveness is key, right? We all want to do things really swiftly and at a budget level that works so we can do more of these for both our community members and our advocates. And so it's just, I actually think a really great scenario for us that we're going to be able to test and try these at a great budget point, and also in a way where we're going to be able to report back really quickly on what the metrics were and what the success looked like, which will help us when we incorporate these into the schedule moving forward.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this affects, practices moving forward, whether it is remote working from home, virtual events, and people just really kind of assessing and adjusting the way in which they operate. I think there's going to be lots of interesting things to learn from this experience. So we'll just have to wait.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say that I'm part of multiple Slack groups for event marketers, and we get together. I think we have a standing weekly meeting that we do. Anyone can hop on the line and talk about canceled events and event plans now that things have changed, and that's been extremely helpful. And then also the GGC community to just let you know more about that. The fact that people are in there on the daily talking about how they are adjusting their campaigns and what they're moving forward with. If you want to be part of either types of these communities, please let us know, and we're happy to provide an invite.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to comment, in our feed below on Facebook or LinkedIn, if you want to be part of that community, then absolutely reach out to us and we can, get in touch with you and share all of that. And I definitely recommend the Guerrilla Growth Collective is a really, really interesting, diverse group of marketers and businesses that are coming together. So definitely, I know that the Slack channel that you guys have going on is a great source of conversation, of inspiration and advice. We have people from all different kind of backgrounds and companies and businesses and industries. And it's just amazing to see all of that, that communication and that community come together.
It truly is. And just because this is the new scenario, you're stuck in your box at home working, does not mean that the engagement and the education and the discussion for your customers and prospects needs to stop. I mean, there are so much you can do with virtual events, and certainly feel free to LinkedIn me and we can have this discussion further. But I think it's just the start for us to incorporate a new channel in the way that we do our events. And I think it's a really exciting time.
Awesome. Well, just to tease ahead, we will be speaking with your team members. We're going to be chatting with Steph, we're going to be chatting with Veronica and also Jason next week for market trends and D2C opportunities in the current landscape. So that's definitely going to be, I feel like, a bit of a hot topic, and it's giving us some time to hopefully we'll get some opportunities to get people's questions and comments in for that conversation that we'll go live with on our next upcoming live stream. But for now, I'll say thank you so much, Ali, for joining today and taking part and sharing all your knowledge and information with us.
My pleasure.
All right. So as you can see there, you can learn more at adroll.com, of course. We also have an amazing selection of blog resources and learning resources. So actually in the copy that's connected to this live stream, you'll see Ali had written an article about this exact topic. So if you want to see the written form of the blog, then you can check that out in the link connected to this stream. But also, of course, adroll.com, we have tons of different resources for you to check out. You can also subscribe to our newsletter for updates and all of that. And of course, follow us on Instagram, Adroll, and we're on Facebook and we're on LinkedIn, all of the good places you can find us. And we're here for you and for the community. We really care. We're very passionate about our marketers and our direct to consumer companies. So we really want to know, what your concerns are, what your challenges are, what you're excited about. We really want to be here to help you. So if we can bring you any particular topics, any experts to discuss, then we're absolutely here for that. So please do get in touch, and we'll look forward to catching up again with everybody again soon.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.